So Denise, it's been nice meeting you here at the boot camp, the MUFON boot camp. But I want to hear about your UFO sighting you had in 1973.
In 1973, yes. I was 14 years old, and this occurred in upstate New York, in a town called Greece. And it occurred at the end of the summer, towards the beginning of the school year, probably the end of August, beginning of September. And I was riding my bicycle with my girlfriend from my house to her house, and it was twilight or approaching twilight. And as we came up to a path that cut through the back of the high school and through the football field, I felt compelled to look to my right. And to my right, there were a bank of trees, and I saw a very large craft rise from behind the trees and almost right about tree top level. It was quiet. There was like no perturbation of the air or anything. It was just like silent, and it came over the trees and started moving in our direction. And she and I got off our bikes and leaned them up against the bleachers, and the craft came towards us, and very, very close. I can't tell you how many feet, but it was just a little bit above the bleachers. And I can describe the craft to you.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
There were some symbols on the bottom of it. The central part of the body was like cigar shaped, and there were three appendages coming out from one side and then from the other, and they ran parallel to each other, and there were lights at the end of each of those appendages.
Wow.
The craft was very large as the football field, if maybe not even bigger. And so there were these symbols on the bottom that looked like they kind of looked like hieroglyphics or maybe Russian letters. But I was 14, so my interpretation of what I was seeing was limited based on that, because I don't really have any true recollection of what they look like now. I just remember what my impression was then. So the next thing I know, she and I we're standing there, and next thing I know, it's dark. Not too much later. Couldn't have been too much later because we both had a curfew.
Okay, let me ask you this. Did you remember seeing it leave and then, or was it just all of a sudden it was dark?
Well, it was dark and the craft was still there. And we were standing there looking up at it. And from our vantage point, we could see these windows, they look like windows, square shaped, and there was like an amber glow to them coming from the inside, and I could see silhouettes of occupants.
Did they look humanoid in a way, would you say, or larger heads? I mean, I don't want to lead you by saying the larger heads things, but did they look like normal size heads and humanoid?
It's very hard for me to tell.
Yeah, at this point.
At this point.
That was a long time ago.
Right. I can just tell you what my impressions were at the moment.
Yeah.
And there were no details. It was just a black silhouette. And there was movement. You could tell that they were moving. And then, then the ship silently just drifted towards our left. I don't know what direction that was. And she and I got on our bikes and we rode to her house. And when we got to her neighborhood, there were a lot of people standing on their driveways looking at the lights and talking about it. She and I never spoke of it again.
Really?
And
I've heard that so many times.
I ran into her about, I don't know, a few years ago at the gym and asked her about it, and she refused to discuss it.
Did she seem scared?
The shades went down. She was like, I don't want to talk about that.
Wow. Isn't that amazing?
Right. My recollection is fairly positive. I don't have any feelings that I was.
All right. Well, just about out of time here. Are you ever thinking about doing regression? Just real quickly.
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. That was very interesting.